Hi, my name is Michael Levin. I'm a New York Times best-selling author and ghostwriter, and I'm here to walk you through the process of what it means to become a first-time author. Most of my clients are, in fact, first-time authors. So what I'm telling you is what I've told each of my clients over the years, and now I'm happy to share this information with you. When you think about getting a book done, there are really three phases to think about. The first is the writing of the book. The second is the publishing and distribution of the book. And the third phase, which is optional, is the marketing of the book. Some people want to market their books. Some people do them just for friends and family. So what I'd like to do is give you the basics on each of the three phases so you understand what you're getting yourself into when you do a book, whether it's with me or anyone else. So the first phase, as I said, is writing. And with a ghostwriter, the way I work typically is I sit down with the client, get to know the client, and I get to start by asking, who is the audience for the book? A lot of times writers make the mistake of asking, what is this book about, or what are the contents of the book? And really the first question to ask, I think the most intelligent question is to ask, who is the audience? Because a book is a tool of influence. It is influencing friends and family by telling the story of the patriarch or the matriarch or the couple that the younger generations may not know intimately, may not know their story. It may be a business book that is meant to influence potential clients or customers, maybe a policy book that is intended to influence government or the way people think about an issue. But whatever it is, a book is a tool of influence. It's a way to capture a message and a story and to essentially shape the way people think about something. So the first question is, whom are we trying to influence? Friends and family, potential clients or customers, all of society. So that's where we start. And then we ask, what body of information that pretty much resides in your head, with some research to back up any assertions or any data we need, what body of knowledge would convince people in the audience that we've identified to think about a topic the way you want them to think about it? And this could be anything from the personal to the professional, but that's what we want to understand. And then how do we create a flow of information so that the information flows in an intelligent process from the author to the reader? And then based on that, I'm able to come up with a table of contents for the book. And I typically get this done in a 90-minute conversation with the client. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but usually if I speak with you for 90 minutes, I can come up with a plan for the book. So now we have a sense of what the chapters are, and we'll go back and forth on that and make sure that we're happy with it. It's not carved in stone. It's something that can change. It's a living document, as they say of the Constitution. This is the Constitution for the book. It can change over time as we're doing the interviews. And once we have a sense of what the book is and what the plan for the book is, once we've agreed on that, with the caveat that it could shift as we move forward, we enter the interviewing phase. And in the interviewing phase, I need an hour per chapter to get 12 to 15 pages of book from an hour-long conversation. So one of the things that some people do in this industry is that they will do sort of long, broad, sweeping interviews, 20, 30, 40 hours at a stretch. I don't mean consistently, I mean over time. And then based on those interviews, they go back and try to find the book. And 6 or 8 months later, they deliver a manuscript, but neither the writer nor the client typically remembers what they were even talking about. I don't do it that way. Instead, we're going to both be aware that on Tuesday at 9 a.m., we're going to be interviewing on chapter one. And on Wednesday at 2 p.m., or the following Tuesday at 3 p.m., we're going to be interviewing on chapter two and so forth. 1 hour per chapter. Some clients like to meet once a week or twice a week for an hour. Other times, clients like to come to New York, belong to a beautiful business club at the top of one of the buildings in Rockefeller Center. We will have a beautiful conference room, and the two of us or the three of us will sit down together for 3 or 4 days, and we'll get all the interviewing done in that time. And then while you're here in New York, we'll do something fun. If you like the theater, we'll go to Hamilton, or if you like sports, we'll go to the Yankees or the Knicks or whatever you enjoy. So we'll have a really great New York experience for you. And at the end of that time, the interviewing's done. You'll start getting chapters within 2 weeks of each call or those New York meetings. And sometimes I come to the client. We can work that out. And then you're able to give me comments immediately. I like this, I don't like that, do more of this, do less of that. The comments that you provide on the first couple of chapters guide the writing of the rest of the book, so that by the time you start getting the third or fourth chapter, it really feels like I'm in your head in a good way. And that I understand how you're thinking, I understand how you like to be presented in print. And so it saves a whole lot of time because we don't have to go back and edit the manuscript at the end of the process the way we would if you had never seen it until you get the whole thing. So we go chapter by chapter until the manuscript is complete. Then you and I will both read it top to bottom. Maybe you'll have friends or colleagues read it. It'll be copy edited, and then it goes off to phase two, which is publishing. Let's talk about publishing for a moment. Most people think that publishing involves getting a deal with a New York publisher. The reality today is that very few people qualify for a deal with a New York publisher. People typically known by their first names, whether it's Oprah or Prince Harry or one of the Obamas or Melania or something like that. So New York publishers are basically for celebrities, people in the public eye, or for people who are really committed to selling 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 copies of their book, a million copies. And New York can tell whether you're doing a doing a book to build your business, to build your brand, or whether your brand is already so built out that you are already doing 50 major keynotes a year. You're already the baby doctor on the Today Show appearing weekly. You're already having a social media following of 1 million people, something like that. If you don't have those things, or if you don't want to bother getting those things, then New York publishing is not for you. Instead, you enter the world of independent publishing. Independent publishing just means that you are buying publishing services the way you buy any other service. And there are people out there, and I work with some of the really great ones, who take a manuscript, the finished book that we've written, and then create the cover designs. They'll create 4 or 5 different cover designs for you. And then you'll pick the one you like, modify it to taste. I want the red brighter. I want my name bigger. I want the picture smaller, whatever you want. They'll do it. They'll create an interior design for the book. Every book has its own unique interior design and layout. And they'll do all the things that are necessary to put a book into the stream of commerce. They will get the ISBN number, which is the number that every book has in it. They'll do the barcode on the back. They'll write the back cover copy. They'll get the copyright taken care of in your name. By the way, when I work, I typically don't take a back end. It's typically work made for hire. This means that everything we do, you own, and I don't have my name anywhere. I'm a ghost. You can't see me. And you can acknowledge me if you want to. Some people actually put my name on the book as a co-author because they think it'll benefit them. I'm not convinced that that's the case, and I tell them so. But if they want that, fine. And then the publisher will get the back cover done, get the blurbs, get the author description and the book description done. And then once you're happy with it, they will put it up on Amazon, and your book will appear on Amazon the way any other book on Amazon appears, whether it's published by Simon and Schuster or somebody on a shoestring. And I never said that before, but it's funny. Maybe not hysterical, but funny enough. Anyway, they'll put it up on barnesandnoble.com, and the way I work, they'll give you the contact information for the printer, so you can order additional copies at any time without any surcharge from me. In terms of fee, I'm one and done. You pay me to write the book. I oversee the relationships with the publisher and with the marketer. We'll get to marketing in a moment. I make sure you're in the right hands, you're getting the right deal, you're getting what you need, nothing more, nothing less, and you're being charged fairly. One of the vendors I work with for publishing gets books done for $4,500 or $5,000. Another one charges around $10,000 to $12,000. I have another vendor who charges considerably more, 40 or 45,000. They can publish the book through worth.com, and there are a lot of benefits to that. We can talk about that. That includes having your book launch at the Cannes Film Festival or the US Open, the tennis, or Formula F1 paddocks in Miami, South by Southwest. So we can arrange some really, really great book launches for you if you go through worth.com. This other vendor that I mentioned can also get you Simon & Schuster distribution into bookstores and even airport bookstores if that's something you want or need. Most people don't want or need it. They don't want to spend the money for it, and there's no real return. But if there's a benefit to you from having your book visible as people go to their gate at O'Hare Airport or JFK, why not? So that's the publishing phase. The publisher is a vendor that we're hiring to get the work done so that your book becomes a physical reality. Physical book, ebook, audiobook, whatever format you want, or all formats, easily done. And we can even do translations. We've had translations done of many of our books, so that's not a problem. Before we get to marketing, we'll talk about bestseller status. Most people don't realize that bestsellers are more often bought and paid for. The Wall Street Journal actually got rid of its bestseller list because people were gaming the system so often. I know a bunch of people who will charge $60,000 to $65,000, or they did charge that, to put a book on the Wall Street Journal bestseller list or also the USA Today list. It's not necessary. All you have to do is go on Amazon and drop the price for a couple of days and let your friends and family and colleagues and list know that your book is out there trying to be a bestseller. And as long as it cracks a sublist, the top 100 on any Amazon sublist, it's technically an Amazon bestseller. Then you go back to the publisher and you say it's an Amazon bestseller, and the publisher puts that little sticker on the cover, and you are a best-selling author, national best-selling author from now until the end of time. So you don't have to pay for bestseller status. You don't even have to sell a lot of books to a lot of people to get that. Dirty little secret of the publishing industry. And now you know. So people say, I want to be a New York Times bestseller. Well, I know a couple of people who charge over $300,000 for a book to become a New York Times best-selling book. But I have to tell you that they don't guarantee their work. And so I don't refer them out. I don't refer people to them. To me, to spend $300,000 on the possibility of your book being a New York Times bestseller does not seem like a wise investment. So Amazon bestseller, basically free, do that. Don't worry about USA Today or no more Wall Street Journal or certainly the New York Times. Okay, so now we move to the marketing phase. Let's say that you have a business or personal purpose for marketing your book. If it's a business book, then naturally you want the maximum number of people in your market to hear about it. So this is when you bring in book marketers. And there are people who do offer, or firms that offer all three phases: writing, publishing, marketing. In my personal experience, it's hard enough to find somebody who's good at doing one thing. Finding somebody who's great at three demanding, complex, and ever-changing processes, writing, publishing, marketing, well, good luck. So I just like to use best of breed for publishing and for marketing for my clients. And as I said, I oversee those relationships. I make sure that you're getting taken care of. If you have a problem, you come to me. I get it resolved for you. And I think that's a lot better than me trying to be really good at three things. It's hard enough to be a good writer. So it's better to let other people who are great at what they do the publishing, do the marketing. Now, if you're doing a book for friends and family, you don't even need marketing. And a lot of the time, you can spend a whole lot of money on book marketing and not really get great results. So for a lot of my clients, business people, financial services people, people who run hedge funds, people who are wealth managers, the advice I give them is kind of down to earth and prosaic, but it's surprisingly effective. Basically, take 100 copies of the book, mail them to 100 prospects for your services that you've identified, and say, I wrote this book with you in mind. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll give you a call. And then call 2 weeks later. Have somebody in your office call 2 weeks later. Have AI call 2 weeks later. Set up an appointment and talk to them. Most people don't get a book in the mail that specifically addresses their needs and problems. So the fact that you did so puts you in a very unique position. So that's a cheap and dirty way to do outstanding book marketing. And then peel off some of the cash you make from those clients or those new customers and use that to build out a marketing campaign. I have a person who can get you on dozens of podcasts for a fee. Obviously, all these things are fee-based, all the marketing. Then nobody does it on a I'll share the profits with you basis. I have somebody who can get you speaking engagements anywhere in the country, whatever you're looking for, they can do that. I have somebody who can get you on radio and TV. You pick the market or markets where there are 107, I believe, markets in the United States. You pick the ones you're interested in, and he will reach out to TV and radio shows in those markets, and you only pay if you get on a TV show or radio show in the market you choose. If you don't get on, you don't pay. So that's pretty cool. And then for the national shows, what he tries to do is build up a reel of you on, let's say, 6 CBS radio and TV outlets across the country, mostly TV. And then he takes that package to CBS this Sunday morning and says, look at this person. I've had her on 6 different, I've had her on, on Orlando, the CBS outlet there. I've had her in Dallas. I've had her in LA. I've had her in New York, Chicago, whatever. And now she's ready for the major leagues. Take a look at her reel and what a great candidate she'd be for Sunday morning. So that's how you get on those shows. But it's really hard. There are lots of people trying to get on those shows. They do have independent authors, but I have to be frank, it's odds against. So, it's not as though hiring me guarantees that you're going to be sitting next to Oprah on Tuesday, anything like that. But if you do need book marketing, I know people who are best of breed, who are great at book marketing, and I will introduce you to them. You'll have conversations. You'll tell me who you feel good about. We'll get a proposal. I'll go over the proposal with the provider and then with you. And this way you feel totally taken care of, start to finish. So those are the 3 phases. There's the writing, which I do. There's the publishing, which I have vendors for. And then if you need marketing, I have vendors for that. And now you know everything you need to know about the basics of what it means to become a published author. If you have any questions, I'll be delighted to answer them for you. And in the meantime, I'm going to sign off and invite you to visit the rest of my website, meaningbooks.com. Thanks for watching.